you came a long way. You know, you started your career in Japan, cultivated in Hong Kong, now flourish here. How different it is to work from like, you know, with Jackie Chan in Hong Kong and someone like Tom Cruise or
sure,
you know, here.
Very different. Extremely different. You know, it was hard going in that region. You know, it's really it's a tough business because, you know, you have a lot of restrictions in terms of like, you know, budgets and locations, and, you know, you don't have the creature comforts that you have in Hollywood, right? So you're really like truly roughing it in those situations. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I that's how I started. So that was fine. And then, but one of the things that I find really funny about Asian culture, especially working in Hong Kong cinema, was, you know, you really like, you don't really get, you know, pats on the back or like complimented.
Oh, like,
you know,
hey, good job. Well
yeah,
done.
no, because you know, it's so Asian, right? It's like, it's just so like, you know, it's like
should.
Asian mothers. Yeah, they're never like, oh, you've done it all. You're so wonderful. Like, no, stop trying. It's so great. So it's sort of the same in movies, you know, it's that thing of like, it's never enough. And so you're constantly, you know, you're working so hard to get the approval of the people around you and what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And then I got to the US, and, you know, I did my first movie in 2005 here in the US, and everyone was they were so nice. Like, they were so complimentary. Like, I felt like everything I did, they were like, you're amazing. I'm like, I'm not. So like, I don't have, what is this thing I'm hearing? I've never heard these words before. And so it was just very, very different because the environment was different. It was different in the way that it was supportive, because obviously in the first go round, I mean, I learned a lot, and I got very tough because of the environment I grew up in. And then I got to the States, and I was like, wow, people are so nice. And they say you do things, they say you do things so well when you're like, just kind of okay. I mean, so I was like, I don't know if I deserve all this, but okay, feels good.
No, trust me, you deserve every bit of it. But it's also because, you know, you were trained so hard back then. That's why you can become who you are right now.
It's true. Yeah.
Superhero movies are super in right now.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So if given the chance, what character would you take
on? Ooh, I don't even know. I'm not a big comic book. I don't have a lot of knowledge of any of that, but I don't know. I
mean, about I give you choices?
Okay, give me, perfect.
If that's like Mulan and Wonder Woman.
Oh, Wonder Woman.
And Wonder Woman, right?
Well, just only because I grew up watching Linda Carter. She was like my TV like icon. I used to dress up as her. I mean, she was like my everything. I was like, this woman is so cool. So that's kind of what I grew up watching.
You are usually portrayed as a very physically strong woman, and you did mention that Wonder Woman, right? So you as a character in the movie or as in real life, a lot of girls look up to you like, oh my God, I want to be Maggie because she's so strong physically and mentally. When you're growing up, is there any specific woman that you look up to for yourself?
Besides her, I mean, listen, I had a really like incredibly hardworking mother who was just like awesome. I mean, I'm an immigrant mother, you know, so for me it was like, I don't think there's
20 hours a day. I think
20 hours a day. They barely sleep. Their children are number one, right?
Yes.
I really don't know that there's anything stronger than that, right? There isn't. And you know, when you come to this country with nothing and you build to what you have today, I mean, what a feat. That's huge. My mom's a real life superhero in my eyes, you know, because I mean, to accomplish that is a whole an entire life's work, right?
Yeah, without you personally really experience that, you wouldn't really know how a woman who would actually come to a country without speaking a word of English.
Hello,
and then,
exactly.
Right? And
no
then
money.
You have to take care of exactly. Somewhere you don't know anyone, you don't know the place, you don't even know how to raise your kid. Yeah,
exactly.
That's real superwoman in
that's life. Thank you. That is exactly how I feel. That's a real superhero.
True. Finally, can you briefly talk about the organization Animal Asia? How did you get involved?
I love it. Animals Asia was the first nonprofit that I did a fundraiser for, just sort of like unofficial. I was turning 21. I was living in Hong Kong, oh. And I had a lot of friends with resources I knew a lot of different people, you know?
Yes, like Jackie
and
Chan.
So, right. And just like, and businessmen and women and people who just like kind of moved in the world at a very high level. And so I thought, okay, well, here's this organization I love, I follow, I donate to, and now's my chance. So my friends were like, let's throw you a big party. And I'm always uncomfortable when it's just about me. So I was a little like, okay, well, if you want to throw a big party, which is fun, let's do this. Like, it'll be, you know, everything will go to charity and we'll do this and this and this. So I called all of my rich friends and I said, you have to come to this party. And of course we'll be there. And I said, but you also have to give money and I will not accept less than blah, 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 blah.
Certain amount. Yeah.
Yeah. And so on that night, I raised like $40,000 or $50,000 or something that night, which was really fun.
Wow.
And then I kind of donated it to the organization just because I cared about the work they were doing and I thought it was very important. And then that was it. And I really loved them from afar. And then years later, I ended up becoming their, you know, sort of ambassador and spokesperson. And I've now been with them for close to 20 years. We opened up a sanctuary in North Vietnam. We've petitioned the Vietnamese government to shut down bear bile farming completely. It's now illegal. We're bringing 600 bears to sanctuary in the next 2 years. And so, I mean, it started with a party when I was 21, but I realized in that moment that even being one individual, and again, I had no resources. I mean, I was already known, but I wasn't making money. I wasn't, you know, I didn't have much to give or anything to speak of, but I knew people who could, and I knew that I could rally them. And so I realized in that moment after that party that like as one person, you can do a lot of good. You can make a huge difference and galvanize, you know, your people and your resources and redirect them to the people who need it. And that was like my first eye opener into what that looked like.
At the very end of this interview, I want to give this word strong to Anna and Maggie, to you, because you do have a physically strong body. At the same time, you have very strong mind that can influence people to the good direction.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Maggie.
It's really nice to you. It was great talking to you.
Same here. Love you. Bye.
Bye.